So near enough 100 milliseconds, and the project is working as expected. So let's look now at the second phase, getting this working on a second board. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need is a new MCC configuration. So we're going to need to close MCC, and we're going to need the second kit part number. So here's the JH, and make sure that we have that available so that we can copy to our clipboard the part number. Now MPLAB MCC, launch. Now we're going to create a new config, standalone, because we don't want to, if we look at this decision that we're being asked to make here, we're either going to create it in the project. We want to create the new config at an equivalent level here. So it's going to be standalone as well. If it's in the project, some of the way that these default files with including everything in the folder might cause problems. Okay, so specify a config name. So MCC config, pick 32cm JH. Part number, which is on the clipboard, custom location, and selecting kind of the workspace level equivalent to before. Okay, so similar to before, we're going to use the systic. We're going to use 200 milliseconds, interrupt as before. Now we're going to do the pins, and coming back to, we have CMJH just above the MC, and similarly to before, we have the LED and switch defined here. We also see the switch brought out at the top there, PA27. So the LED on PA19, the switch on PA27. So ports PA19 and PA27, debug IO. Okay, that should be done. Config done. And note how we have the project. We have one config, we have a second config. It's not associated with any MPLAB project configuration, so we need to handle that first before we can configure that. So under our project.json, and what we haven't looked at to this point is the GUI here, edit project properties, and you can see that we have one configuration, pick 32cm MC, and we have a file set and a tool chain, and we have our elf file. So we're going to copy this. There's a couple of options. Duplicate existing. We're going to use this, but extend existing. This is really useful if we're wanting to have one build for debug and a build for production, or small changes in different project configurations. To extend existing allows us to change individual project settings. We're making fairly significant project changes or configuration changes, so we're going to use a duplicate existing. Create empty really is quite difficult because you have to fill in everything yourself. So we'll duplicate this one. Okay, so now it's called config1, so I'm going to call it pick 32cm JH. I'm going to also want to update the names here, config1 files, so I'm going to go to the top here and say pick 32cm JH files. Back to the overview. I thought I renamed this. Okay, So the files are already renamed. Now the toolchain. Okay, so part. Now, yes, let me just get to the end of that. Toolchain, application, and elf. So we can rename the elf to the JH as well, just like before. And there is one key item we haven't changed yet, which is the part number. So here's the JH, so we can get the part number from the MCC configuration. And as we search for a part number, we can select the part and notice that the DFP now has changed for this configuration. That's important. Okay, we can close the graphical view here, and we can see that, for example, with the MC, we have a MC DFP, a device family pack, so that's the device support, and here we see that there's a totally different version number here from that one, because it's obviously a different software component. Okay, so we have two project configurations. So let's attempt now to connect the two together. MPLAB, MCC, configure associated project. We're going to use the JH, add it to this project, and now we have multiple configs, and we're going to add it to the JH config. Okay, those two are connected. Now if we look at our project config, we have separate configs, but there is some duplication here. This is the JH toolchain, and we have MC compiler directories. So we delete those and delete these. MC toolchain is fine. MC file set is fine, but the JH files, we want to remove these. Okay, and this should be a one-time thing when we're working with MCC and multiple projects. Okay, and also as we change the project config, it will trigger a build, and you can see that build failed, but that's because we haven't added in the files that need to be compiled yet. So we can come in to MCC and now generate code, and we can expect some changes. Yes, so the JH tool chain, we can see compiler directories have been added, and also down here there are files, and it looks like the builds are now successful, and we also now have a source file. So the source from the first config can actually be used here, and they just happen to be the same in this case. So we can, well, we have built, so I guess we can build again now that we've added the main. Clean and build for the JH. So now we can come to launch, and we can see that there's a way to add a launch configuration for MPLAB. But for now, we're going to actually just put this on our clipboard, Control L to open our chatbot, and Control L basically sends whatever's on the clipboard to the chatbot. Please create a new launch configuration for the second MPLAB project configuration. Note how we have this selected here, so we can just simply insert a cursor, and you can see that we have an MC and a JH. Okay, so we can save the launch configuration. We don't have any launch currently running, so we can run debug and select our JH. Select to launch. Okay, in the data visualizer, we're going to add a plot. Okay, so the triggers are not exactly syncing here between both boards, but you can see that both projects are now running as expected. So what we can typically do is set the project at the top, so it'll restart the extensions, and then we'll have the two MPLAB project configurations. Now we can file save workspace as and save the workspace. Okay, so we have the workspace, and if we open it, we get things arranged as we left them at the end. However, we also could choose to open the project, and because the project contains references to source outside this folder, we will get prompted to add external project folder source, and you can see the different source files being added. So if you like to share source between different projects, those source folders will automatically be opened with VS Code extensions. Okay, so that was a quick overview of multiple project configurations with MPLAB Harmony. Enjoyed playing. Quite a learning curve, but once you get used to it, you will love it.